If you can't adapt, you can't survive. There's a murderer in this very school. I'm a sucker for psychological books and shows, so the manga detective murdering game definitely piqued my interest. With a title and an introduction like that, it definitely sounds interesting. This psychopathic girl in the wheelchair is Rikai. She's kissing the main character Ui, and no, this isn't a romance manga, nor are they dating. As a matter of fact, Ui has no clue who she actually is. She even keeps calling him by a name that's not actually his, it's his gamer tag. She's a detective and was given a case. Rikai has tracked down Ui for her client. Her client thinks that Ui's father, who committed suicide 2 years ago, was pushed to do so. The father was recently discharged from the hospital from a prior attempt on his own life, so it's within the realm of possibility that somebody gave him the nudge needed to try again. As you listen to the incident, something doesn't seem to add up either, but you can't specifically put your finger on it because there's multiple questions that need to be answered. Rikai's job is to find the culprit, and thanks to her superpower, she claims to know who it is, Ui's sister, Haruka. This is obviously shocking news to Ui because how could his sweet little sister do such a thing? She's the person who believed their crumbling apart family could return to normalcy. Remember earlier when I said Rikai knew Ui, but he didn't know her? It's because Rikai and Ui played against each other in a deception video game called Detective Murder Game. Basically think of Among Us, but with a different rule set. Ui was the only person who beat Rikai in it. She had a perfect record until that point, winning 300 games in a row, and stated that Ui is the only person she struggles to read. This obviously left a sour taste within her mouth, accepting this job in part to one-up him. This detective case turns into a game for Rikai and Ui. Rikai is looking for clues proving Haruka's guilt, while Ui is trying to be a good big brother and prove her innocence. Rikai means business. She claims she will kill whoever killed Ui's father, just like how it is within the same video game they play. So naturally Ui is fearing for his sister's life and tries everything within his power to clear her name as the two people stalk her. She sets up a game between Ui and herself around the actual case, giving them 7 days to figure out who done it. This game is similar to the video game that they play. Rikai gives out cards to herself and Ui to use. Since she's at an advantage with her power, she limits herself to give Ui a chance. She has only 1 card to use, while Ui has 3. Once a day, Rikai can select a suspicious person to use her superpower or ability on and tell Ui if they are guilty or innocent. Ui's 3 cards all come in the form of saving his sister. Each one can save Haruka, but in different ways. First, he can claim somebody else is the culprit, but must convince Rikai in doing so, providing undeniable proof. If Rikai believes them, she will kill them instead. This is a difficult card to use because you obviously don't want to end somebody else's life, but at the same time it would prove Haruka innocent. The second and third cards are ways to save Haruka's life even if she is the murderer. If Ui guesses Rikai's ability correctly, she won't kill Haruka. Ui doesn't even have to be specific with his answer, just a ballpark answer will suffice. This card is the best chance at saving Haruka, but Ui doesn't guess her ability correctly, ultimately wasting the card. The final way to save Haruka is a rematch of Detective Murder Game they play every night. If Ui wins again, she won't kill Haruka. He just needs to survive 7 rounds, but he eventually loses in that too. The manga makes you think Ui is actually the killer despite Haruka being easy to blame for her terrible temper and violent tendencies. You see him at various points physically hurting and taking some type of prescribed medicine. It seems he wants to forget what he did, potentially killing his own father. But in a manga filled with twists, the final one is that he's lying for his sister. He acts like he's the killer to keep his family together. Ui knows his mother is actually the culprit, but has been lying all this time. The whole time he's been lying and playing a game of deception with Rikai and his sister. Most of his life is a lie. The entirety of the manga is spent with Rikai filling in the blanks and helping Ui to change and overcome his problems. A manga that is about a murder mystery at first, that seems dark on the surface, turns into one of trying to help a friend out. It's quite possibly the only friend Rikai has. Throughout the manga, you see just how powerful Rikai actually is. She understands people and is really smart. Rikai claims she has a magical power that will help her find the true culprit. Her genius in part is thanks to her ability Lithskalf, or psychic sensory perception. Lithskalf comes from Norse mythology and literally means the high seat with an expansive view. With this power, she can predict other people's intentions or emotional state just through her 5 senses, with touch obviously being the best. I think the Norse title is apropos for this ability. The ability is also why she is so successful within the video game. Rikai cherishes her moments with Ui just like he does with her. Ui is a good person, the only one that she's seen to this point. He doesn't do things for himself, he does things to help others. It's the essence of a great leader, which he just so happens to be the class president. He helps others with homework and acts nice to everyone, even people he doesn't like. Ui's given himself responsibilities for things nobody asked him to do, such as acting like he was the murderer to prevent his family from fully being destroyed. He feared that Haruka's violent tendencies would lead her to kill their mother, but if Ui takes the blame, she'd spare him, because she doesn't have definitive proof. Ui has been lying for 2 years and is struggling to tell the difference between what's a lie and what is truth, so much so that it hurts him physically, hence him taking prescriptions. Rikai got close to her target without Ui ever realizing it, a classic maneuver. Remember Rikai's ability of psychic sensory perception? That kiss at the beginning of the manga told her all she needed to know about Ui. He's a broken man who's been in pain all this time. He's a difficult person to read because what's a lie and what's truth is blurred to him, and he can no longer tell the difference between the two. This deep dive case helps Ui figure out who he actually is. He no longer needs to lie and can go back to living a normal life. Rikai has supreme self-confidence. She speaks her mind and is very suggestive. Rikai pushes people's buttons to the point where they get violent. She does have a reason doing so. Pushing people reveals much more about them. She constantly brings up tough subjects, such as Ui's father's death to him, to see how he reacts and to bring in more clues to the forefront of the case. Rikai is not only afraid of being lied to and betrayed, she's sick of it. She sees the worst in humanity thanks to her power. They lie, cheat, and steal from others, and thanks to her power, Rikai sees everything. The strong lie to persuade or threaten others, while the weak lie to protect themselves. Thanks to her power, she immediately sees the bad within people and is blind to the good. You have to spend time with others to witness the good, because something surface level could seem good, but could actually end up being self-serving. The interesting dynamic here is that Rikai herself is a liar. Everything she does is for a purpose. She lies to make a point or get information from others. Rikai told Ui of her past on 2 separate occasions, one definitely being a lie, the other, we have no clue. She could be lying there too, since she's such a great actress. This is yet another manga where I wish it was a tiny bit longer. I wish it did a deeper dive on the mom and sister. They do stalk the sister, but it's easy to tell she's not the culprit. Having the mom be the person who pushed the father to end it all is fine, but we never actually see her. It's wasted potential, since it's fairly evident that either her or we are the culprit, not Haruka. I really enjoyed the dynamic between the best character Rikai and Ui. They enjoy each other's company, and with Ui seeming more relaxed around her. It's another scenario where I'd like to see a bit more from them. Detective Murdering Game was a fun read, and I give it a 6.75 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Recommend me some manga to review. I'll see you guys in the next video.